Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Shout out to Brother Wade. Wade shared with me a 105 The Fan clip having Brian Broaddus, former scout and things, and definitely a man who knows what he's talking about. Brian kind of went off a bit because basically what he's saying, and if this is true, if this ends up being the case, then we've got no hope. That the idea of going all in is still not an idea that the Cowboys have. Now, the good news for the Cowboys, I guess, we know that we got rid of our 4th round pick, getting Trey Lance. Okay? We decided, let's get a quarterback instead of maybe a running back or a linebacker. So we took a 4th round pick and we got Trey Lance. And, you know, some people think Trey Lance can be the guy and everything else. Well, that remains to be seen. We took our 2 fifths that we had, one being a compensatory pick, and ended up getting Stephon Gilmore, who is a free agent, and Brandon Cooks, who is under contract for this year too, as well. So we lost those. Looking like our compensatory picks, because of losing Dalton Schultz and Connor McGovern, looks like we're going to get a 5th and a 6th. So at least we'll have a 1st, a 2nd, a 3rd, a 5th, a 6th, actually 2 6ths and 2 7ths. Now, the Cowboys' philosophy is, and this is where we are in this cycle. Unfortunately, this cycle is difficult because when you're drafting late in the 1st round, you're not bad enough to get a game-changing, team-changing players very often. We were fortunate that we ended up sucking in 2020 because we were able to get a Micah Parsons at 11. But typically, when you're drafting that far in the 1st round, you know, Tyler Smith, great player and things, we got lucky on that one, although most people thought it was a bad pick. But then you look at where we picked last year, and we get a Mozzie Smith who couldn't really get on the field. You're not bad enough to be able to get enough of great players. Because, see, the thing about it is this. This is how you have to look at it. Let's say you're a top 5 pick, right? Say you're the number 5 pick. 5 pick versus a 24 pick. You got a better chance of getting an impact player. But it's not only that 1st round. The 2nd round guy is 37. That's almost like a 1st round pick. If you're picking at 25, your 2nd round pick, let's see, 32, 42, 52, is 57. 57 is so far from 37. It's not even close. So you have a potential to maybe get lucky, and that 35 guy or 37 guy ends up being a 1st round talent. That other guy, you have a chance of getting a blue chipper. You're able to get maybe 2 impact players because you're bad. And the problem with the Cowboys is, by not going all in, by Stephen Jones basically saying, you know, we want to work the cap, we want to take care of our guys and things, and they don't expect to be a player in free agency like other teams, you can't ever get to the point of being that contender for a Super Bowl. You can blame Dak and say Dak can't put the team on his shoulder, because the team is trying to put too much on his shoulder. You got quarterbacks out there that people will deem are better than him with better teams that aren't doing it. Why do we expect him to be able to do it without having a decent running game, without having an offensive line that's consistent or being one of the better offensive line, without having wide receivers that aren't going to pout at the first sign of trouble, or constantly, looking at a defense that can't stop the run. All of these pieces and all of these holes we can't fix in the draft. And the reality is we're screwed until they wake up and care about this. Evidently, they don't care about it. They're satisfied with the status quo of selling the hype of being in the playoffs, or just about in the playoffs, of being good enough to get all of the conversation that they get, but don't care about putting in the extra effort to actually get to a Super Bowl. And of course, not getting the blame where it belongs. Everybody, Dak Prescott, he's at fault. Dak Prescott, just get rid of Dak. For whom? For whom? Who is going to be able to elevate a team that is not a complete team to win a Super Bowl without having the pieces? You can't tell me that any of these teams, any of these 4 teams right now, don't have better pieces than the Cowboys do right now. You can't tell me that they're not more complete teams. Why? Because they use all tools available to them. The only tool the Cowboys use basically is the draft. Yeah, we did 2 late round trades last year, but they don't really use the trade mechanisms. The thing about it is you look at the trades that the Cowboys have made. You traded for Hankins, which is a low round trade. You have to look and say, that trade worked out pretty good. Hankins has been a stalwart for us. You have to look at it and say, Brandon Cooks, although you would have liked to have gotten more out of him this year, that was pretty good for a 5th round draft pick. Stephon Gilmore, be it these guys are later in their career and you would have loved to have had done this years earlier to get more time out of them instead of waiting until they're in their 30s. They paid dividend. You can look at Amari Cooper, who literally saved a season by trading for him where we were 3-5 before he got here, and go on to win the division. It's not that it hasn't worked and has not helped the team. It has. And this aversion to doing this stuff, to keep constantly doing the exact same thing, knowing that we're good enough to make the playoffs, but not good enough to actually challenge and continue to do the same thing, is the definition of insanity, and it is driving all of us crazy. So Cowboy fans right now, forget, if you want to be a Cowboy fan, understand that we got no chance of getting the Super Bowl with this philosophy. You have been warned. They don't care about getting that Super Bowl. And if I'm Mike McCarthy, it's like, you're going to hamstring me. You've set me up to fail. If I can't get enough players to win this thing, I'm going to lose my job. You're not giving me what I need to be successful. So why not just fire the guy now? Oh, I forgot. You need a scapegoat so that way it looks like, well, we just got a bad coach. Shit is ridiculous. It is freaking ridiculous. So, there you have it, friends. There you have it. The Cowboys will not be doing what it takes to try and win the Super Bowl. As always, good people, the fire's dying out here. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. It sucks. This sucks. remember to tell the people you love how much you love them. Because you might not get the chance again, good people. And I love you guys. And God willing, I'll see you guys tomorrow.